How's it going, everybody? Coach Stewart Holt, Hoover Youth Wrestling Club, the Skull and Crossbones wrestling team. Hello and welcome. I'm making a quick Zoom call PowerPoint presentation for some questions that parents may have come up. This is really designed for those of you with no wrestling background and experience, gives you some information that you're going to need to make a decision this season on which style you're going to try to put your child into. Gives you some background information on wrestling, how wrestling is scored, etc. So let's dive right into it, shall we? What makes wrestling special? I'm going to leave this PowerPoint up. I'm just going to kind of hit the notes of it. I'm going to focus on one of these slides here in a minute. But wrestling doesn't develop your character, it reveals it. Then you decide what you want to do about it. Individual and team sport. Individual, no excuses, nobody to blame. You are exposed. It is scary and awesome at the same time. Team, when all parts do their job, the team does well. When even one part doesn't prepare or execute the right way, the whole team suffers. Some of the best individuals you will see at tournaments are surrounded by great teammates. They push each other. Work ethic over natural athleticism. Truly you get out what you put in sport. There's no need for exceptional size or speed. Timing, drilling, focus, stamina is really what determines somebody's success in wrestling. So everybody participates in wrestling. Although it's an individual sport, it's still a team sport. Okay. We'll get into that a little bit as we progress forward. The next slide here is recreational or competitive. This year, we are breaking down our team into two different divisions, more or less, a recreational side and a competitive side. So for the recreational wrestler, that could be anybody. There is no experience required for recreational. There's no experience required for competitive either. But as far as recreational is concerned, that could be anybody, kindergarten, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, somebody who wants to come out there, learn about wrestling, and kind of get their feet wet, so to speak, get some exercise, stay in shape. So it requires zero experience, very little experience to none. The focus on kindergarten through first and second, really on the recreational side, is going to be very heavy wrestling oriented games. These are games that are designed to teach a wrestling skill set. So they're actually going to be learning wrestling without even knowing that they're learning wrestling in most cases. We're pretty happy about the way we've devised some of these games. Now, I would say if they're older than second grade, probably more your third or fourth grade, and older recreational kids, they're going to be doing more of a blend of games and real wrestling techniques. Okay, so we'll be learning takedowns. They'll be learning snap downs. They're going to be learning double leg takedowns. They're going to be learning top moves, how to get somebody to their back and pin them. On the bottom, they're going to be learning escapes and reversals. So they are going to be learning real wrestling technique. The older rec kids are, and even some of the smaller rec kids, the K through kindergarten, first and second, will be learning them, but they'll just be learning them at a little bit slower pace. So that's going to be your competitive practice focus. As far as competition is concerned on competition is concerned on recreation, we have zero expectations of competition on recreation. You know your child better than we do. If they want to compete, they're welcome to come out and compete, even on a recreational team. That's fine by us, but we have zero expectations on that. In essence, recreation is there to keep it fun, keep it light, learn some about wrestling, get some exercise, and have a good time. That should be the focus on recreational. Now, moving to competitive, this here on the web, on the PowerPoint, it says typically 3 seasons, but not required. There is no experience requirement for competitive. It's been our experience that we've seen kids in kindergarten come out ready to compete, first grade ready to compete. Obviously, your third, your fourth, your fifth graders are probably more geared towards competitive. But you know your kid better than we do. So, I mean, if they're geared up and pumped up and ready to compete against other wrestlers and want to go one-on-one and see some live action, then competitive is the way to go for them. It's just been our experience that usually the wrestler with 3+ years experience opts for competitive. Okay. But if you've got a highly competitive child who likes to compete and is already competing in other sports, soccer, football, etc., then let's get them in competitive. However, the practice focus on competitive is going to be faster paced, real wrestling technique. We're working on takedowns. We're working on top and bottom moves. Okay. It's definitely going to be faster paced on the competitive. We're going to hold them to a little bit higher expectation on competitive. As far as competition is concerned, frequent tournaments, frequent competition. This is where we travel around different parts of the greater Birmingham area. Usually within about 60 to 90 minutes of the greater Birmingham area. They have tournaments up in Huntsville. They have tournaments in Mobile, Gulf Shores. We try to keep it within about 60 to 90 miles of Birmingham. But we do expect them to be signing up for competition and coming to compete with the team. But the goal is to have fun, advance, and improve skills, get better as a wrestler, get more technically sound as a wrestler, and earn some hard work competitions. We want them coming home with medals. But the first focus of our club is have fun, learn wrestling, and get tough. I mean, that's our motto. We want to let them enjoy the sport, be it competitive or be it recreational, to where they enjoy the sport and they want to keep coming back for years to come. We are not this over-the-top, intense youth wrestling club that's grinding and drilling these kids and screaming and yelling. That's not us. We want them to have a love for the sport, a natural love for it, that will carry them in the future into middle school wrestling, high school wrestling, and have some skill sets and some characteristics that actually last them the rest of their life. I said in one of my videos, the sport of wrestling knocks you down to the mat. Life knocks you down to the ground. I think as parents, we all know you will get knocked to the ground in life. We want to teach them how to get back up, get back to their feet, fight back, and win. That's a skill set that they can carry with them the rest of their days. So that is the difference between rec and competitive. If you have any questions on that, feel free to call me direct or email me direct. And we can make that assessment as we watch them wrestle if you like. But here again, competitive has no age, has no experience requirement. So if they want to get into competitive, bring them on. Let's move forward in the slide. Styles and applications. There's a couple different styles and applications of wrestling. You have freestyle and Greco, which is what you typically see in Olympics. And then you have scholastic, also known as folk style, which is what we see in this country through youth level, elementary, middle school, and high school, and collegiate. Really, the only difference is the point scoring system and some turns on top and bottom, which is really nothing you need to worry about. They'll be doing folk style wrestling. Let's continue forward through competitions. So wrestlers assigned an ankle bed, red or green, to assist in scoring and referee communication to the scoring table. Wrestlers line up on the colored line and they shake hands. Referee blows the whistle to begin the action. There's 3 periods, 2 minutes apiece at the high school level. Usually at the youth level, it's about 1 and 1.5 minutes on each period. Sometimes in the second and third period, that goes down to 1 minute. Just kind of depends on what the bracket is. Are they in the championship bracket or a consolation bracket? Have they consolations when they've already lost one match? All matches begin with the opponents standing and facing each other. This is called a neutral position. When you're on your feet standing up, that is called the neutral position. Keep moving along here. In match positions. Once a takedown is awarded, which is worth 2 points, scoring wrestler is now on top, and the other is on the bottom. The objective of the top wrestler is to turn the bottom wrestler to their back. Turning the bottom wrestler over and putting both shoulders blades flat to the mats results in a pin, also known as a fall or pinfall. And the match is therefore over, with the top wrestler winning. If the top wrestler turns the bottom wrestler close to a pin, the referee will begin counting. If the ref gets a 3-second count, the top wrestler will get 2 points. And if a 5-second count takes place, the top wrestler gets 3 points. We'll let you peruse through that. I'm just kind of hitting the highlights here. In match scoring, takedowns worth 2 points. An escape is when you're on the bottom and you clear the top wrestler, you get away from them. That's 1 point. If you're on the bottom and you get a reversal, which means you get behind him from the bottom position and you're now on top, that is awarded 2 points. If the top wrestler exposes the back side of the bottom wrestler for 3 seconds, that's worth 2 points. And if the top wrestler exposes the bottom wrestler's backside for a 5 count for 5 seconds, then that is awarded 3 points. And any pin where the bottom wrestler's shoulder blades are on the mat, that is what they call a pinfall, and that ends the match. We got some good scoring video resources here. I would encourage you to click these YouTube links. It will give you take you to videos on YouTube, which is probably a little bit more in depth than this PowerPoint. It's a great resource for you to have as a parent to see kind of what's going to go on if your child decides to get into competitive wrestling. Team scoring, this is a team sport. Even though it is an individual's wrestling, we are all wrestling for our team. So there is team scoring. And the team scoring is really based upon how they do as individuals. Usually team scores, they score the top 3 teams and award trophies. Here again, we're not too concerned about that. We're not even concerned about really the individual so much, as long as there's personal development, personal growth. We want to see your wrestler getting better. That may mean that they still lose every match. That's highly possible. It may mean they win every match, but what we want to see is personal growth and development, and that wrestler getting better and learning. So that's what matters the most to us. We'll keep on plugging through here. Tournaments. This is going to give you a little bit more detail on tournaments and bracketing and bout numbers. As a parent, just so you know, we'll have coaching staff there at the tournaments. So we'll be on site coaching your child. We'll be keeping up as best we can with their bracket and their bout number. But as a parent, what you're going to do is log on to an app called Track Wrestling. Okay, it's real straightforward. It's real easy. Even I can do it. So on the Track Wrestling app, you'll pull up your kid. It'll tell you bout number 2513 on mat number 3. We'll show you how to use all that. It's really simplistic. But we'll be there to help every step of the way. And here's an example of a bracket. The championship bracket is where everybody starts out. This would be all the first matches of the tournament right here. These are wrestlers. So this wrestler, looks like that wrestler had a bye. So these 2 wrestlers here are going to go up against each other. The winner will progress forward. The loser will be put down in what they call a bottom bracket or a consolation bracket, and they'll still wrestle, excuse me. Usually it's 2 losses and you're out on a youth wrestling tournament. So if they go 2 and out, they're done for the day. And that's not always the case. Sometimes they do what they call a round robin bracket when they have a smaller bracket. There's not this many people here. Say there's just 6 kids at that point. Well, they may wrestle 3 or 4 times on those kinds of brackets. We'll keep you apprised of that when we see that. But generally speaking, this is the kind of bracket structure you'll see. So you want to keep winning and progressing forward to this championship final, wrestling for 1st and 2nd place typically. Okay, if they lose anywhere in here, they'll be knocked to the consolation bracket, okay, where they will have to wrestle back for 3rd and 4th, 5th and 6th place. But that's basically it. I guess the main focus is on, are you going to do recreation or are you going to do competitive? I'm just going to back up here one more time. This is here on the website. It's also on the bottom of your registration form. There is no minimum time frame for competitive wrestling. If you feel like your child is ready to compete, then sign him up for competitive wrestling. If he's not ready to compete, then just put him in recreation. He's going to learn wrestling. He's going to have fun. We have a program that's diverse enough to cover everybody's needs and wants. So that's something we're proud of here at the Hoover Youth Wrestling Club. We have about 10 to 12 coaches that are walking the rooms, helping the students, helping the wrestlers. And we're excited that y'all have joined. Can't wait to meet your child. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call. Thanks. Take care.